welcome back to your favorite podcast. My name is Carolyn.
My name is Kate.
And this is Girls Unscripted. Thank you so much for tuning in.
I want to start off this episode by just filling you guys in. I know you all were thinking after last episode, why was Kate so stressed out thinking all her friends hated her before her camping trip when she wasn't even due for her period? I got my period.
Oh, science wins. Science wins again.
I wasn't due for it, but it came, and being a woman is crazy.
Science always comes out on top. Well, there you go. There you have it.
There you have it. Now I know camping was fine.
Yeah. Did you get through it? A-okay?
No tears. We got through it. We stayed in Fresno for the night on Thursday night and a Friday, so we could just drive right into the park. It's an interesting place.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it on my top to-dos, but I'm glad that I can hear a report on it.
You know, I said, look, it's not somewhere that I was on my bucket list, but I do enjoy going to places that I've never been to before. And now I can say I've been to Fresno.
Yeah, any excuse. Kyle used to work in random ass places when he was in consulting. And I was like, can I come? And I'd be in like Bloomington, Illinois, and be like, this is awesome.
Just to like walk around and be somewhere new, see how the other half lives a little bit.
Yeah, it's perspective, it's culture. I love it. Good for you. Good for you. But how was camping?
It was fine.
Yeah?
We didn't really sightsee. We didn't like go to Half Dome. There was like one big hike that everyone did, but I didn't go on it because it was 8 miles, and I'm like, that's too long.
Right.
But it was fun, and it was nice to be in nature and hang out with my friends.
Love that. Quality nature friend time.
Yeah.
That's the best.
Well, how about you? What was your weekend? Tell me everything. How was San Diego?
Oh man, was San Diego a blast. We rode on down and I'm so glad I could capture Kyle listening to, he's gonna kill me. What's that Alesso song? Calling? What's the song? It's his favorite EDM song.
Let me look it up. So I could put myself, if you guys, Gabbers, if you don't know the song, I want you all to pause this podcast and go and look it up.
Some of you might be too young for this to like truly be your jam.
Alesso, you think it's called Calling?
I think so.
Lose My Mind in parentheses.
Yes.
I'll go to the middle.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think so.
I know the song.
Da 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 da.
Wait, this is so like 2010. Oh my God, that just like took me back to freshman year of college.
Doesn't it give you shivers? Like,
Yeah,
it's amazing.
I may have a hard nip or two. I bet that was so fun to see live.
So fun to see live. And the Chainsmokers closed it out. I mean, that was also like I was a little kid. And I was surrounded by little children. I'll say that.
Really?
I felt very old.
I would think that would be more of like an our age type of thing.
I would have thought so too, but I was like, maybe it's because it's like UC San Diego. I don't know. There was a lot of like college kids there too. I think it was like the activity of the weekend. Who knows? I had a fucking blast and another adventure in the books. DJ Fucks thoroughly enjoyed it.
No, your guys' Instagram stories were cracking me up, and you were just like bobbing your head.
Oh my God, that was so stupid. He was like, you gotta bop your head. And I was like, for what? He's like, you have to do it 16 seconds so it makes a measure so you can like do any song to it. And I was like, Kyle, that's not how TikTok works. Like, you're supposed to do it to the song as you're listening to the song.
Honestly, in my opinion, whatever he did works because I felt like you guys were doing a bit. So
it was a bit.
Okay.
It was a bit of me being like, what the fuck is this? And him being like, just bop it.
It was like, and if you watch, like, I doubt any of you follow Kyle, Carolyn's husband, but maybe you do. And if you were watching Kyle's Instagram stories, it was like, you guys were bopping your head in the car. Then you were bopping your head walking the thing. It was like each story was you guys just bopping your head. It was honestly, I really enjoyed it.
Oh, dude, I left out the best part. We stopped at the casino, and I won $400 on the way down, so I paid for the whole trip.
No, wait, which casino?
I can't even remember what it was called.
Is it just
Pachanga?
Oh, I've heard of Pachanga.
Down in Temecula.
Okay, yeah, I think that might be it. What did you play that won you $400?
I'm a blackjack baby. A blackjack baby. I just do whatever Kyle tells me to do. Which is odd because Kyle always loses and I always win.
I genuinely believe luck is a real thing. I am the most unlucky when I don't win money on those kinds of games at all, ever.
Luck can change. The moons and stuff. Isn't that what astrologers say?
That's true. It depends on where Mercury is and all those things. Something I learned a couple years ago is that, I mean, there's a bunch of casinos in California, but California casinos, dice games are illegal. You can't physically roll dice in a California casino. So you'll notice, like, if there is craps, the dice is in like an enclosed thing, and it's like a button that like does it. It's
that's okay.
Like you can't roll the dice.
I saw the button craps table, and I just thought that was like a quirky version of a craps table. I didn't know that was due to legality.
No
Interesting.
No dice. Maybe that's where the saying "no dice" comes from.
Maybe. Literally no dice.
Literally no dice. Quick Love Island chat. Have you been watching?
I sure have.
Are you totally caught up?
I'm totally caught up and a little pissed off.
Okay, so I'm sure by now you guys will be all caught up. Love Island is daily, so it's fine. Alandria and Nick, what's going on with them? Are they gone for good? Are they coming back? So we're currently at Casa Amor, and allegedly Alandria and Nick have been voted out or eliminated because they didn't make a connection in Casa Amor. Now, the episode ended with Alandria in the car, like, Nick, come on, get in. Like, she looked way too happy to be eliminated. So they're going to come back, right?
My theory is that there's a third house called Casa Fiesta, and after everyone's eliminated, they just get to go there, and you can drink there, and you don't have to schedule your drinks, and like you can have real conversations. That's all I think it is. But you tell me your theory.
So I wish that was a real thing. Like they do that in some challenge seasons where when people get voted out, they like
Redemption
get sent
House.
off. Yeah,
Yes.
And they're just like drinking and doing nothing the whole time. My actual theory is Alandria and Nick should not be punished for not having a connection in Casa Amor. If anything, they should be celebrated. They are the two people in this game that have the strongest connection on Love Island. I just think what's going to happen is because they have those strong connections, they're going to let Sierra and Taylor think that they got voted out to see how they move. Then when we go to do the legit post-Casa recoupling, who from Casa is going to stay and who's going to go, either they're going to have Sierra and Taylor recouple with their people and then bring Alandria and Nick back in, or what they're going to do. It's a little confusing. I'm so sorry, Gabbers.
No, I'm following.
Here's what I do think that is going to happen, and this is like kind of like OG Love Island Casa rules. So let's say Sierra and Taylor do not know that Alandria and Nick have been eliminated. If they choose to not recouple with someone in Casa, then they're allowed back in.
Sorry, there are helicopters and sirens outside my...
Wait, I actually heard there's something crazy going on in Santa Monica today.
Wait, no, you didn't. Really?
There's an ongoing incident. We asked the public to avoid the area. Police are responding to an active situation. Now, this was at 1:45, though. And now it's 4:18. My friend did say at 2 o'clock, I see at least 2 helicopters circling.
Okay, so I'm sorry, Gabbers. If you hear helicopters, that's what that is. I can't help that. So that's interesting. Did you hear what happened with the Waymo in Santa Monica the other day?
No, what?
2 kids got in a Waymo, 2 teenagers, and another person came up, shot them both in the car.
What? First of all, why have I not heard about this?
I know. Isn't that so fucked up? So much shit's happening that we're like desensitized to all of this shit. I saw it pop up on my Citizen, and it was only for that I looked up online and saw it was true.
Damn, that's really scary. Also, Gabbers, if you don't know, a Waymo is a self-driving car, so there was no driver in that car. That is crazy.
Yeah. Wow, I'm so curious, and I'm going to be a professional and lock it in.
Well, now people know what goes down in LA every day.
Seriously.
It's really not, people forget this is like a huge major city and shit goes down.
Like, you gotta be safe.
You gotta be safe. Speaking of safe, Nick and Alandria. So let's bring it back.
Okay, so say the last theory.
So you know how in normal Casa Amor, they'll do like, it'll be like the guys recoupling. And let's say Taylor decides, I'm not going to recouple with Coco. I want to be with Alandria. And then Alandria would either walk in single or she'd walk in with someone. If she walks in single, yay, her and Taylor are together. If she walks in with someone, well, then Taylor's single. You know how that's how they normally do it?
Right.
What if they're waiting for the recouplings to see if Sierra is going to choose to stay with Nick and if Taylor's going to choose to stay with Alandria. And if they choose to be single, then they bring back in Nick and Alandria. And if they don't, then they're gone for good.
That's fucked up.
Could be. I don't know.
That would be fucked up. That would, oh my God, fuck with my head. I mean, they'd want to stay on the show. They'd want to have to pick somebody to recouple with. Unless it's true love, which I guess is what they're testing.
This new Casa is confusing. So they have to pick someone to recouple with now, but I would assume they're going to do a normal Casa Amor recoupling where they do officially decide, okay, now we're all going, well, never mind. My whole theory is a wash because I forgot Ariana Maddox said everyone's going back to the villa. They've just had to change around this season so many times to like make it work because the season is just not working that now I'm just like confused.
Here's a theory I guess I could see that's really lame if they do this, but if everyone comes back to the same villa, then there's a recoupling. And during the recoupling, when the person like Taylor needs to make his decision, then they bring back Alandria at that moment for him to see like who he would pick.
And then he has to decide on the spot.
He has to decide on the spot.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a trick they would pull out. I think that would be lame, but yeah, I'm curious to see.
My thing is I think Sierra will definitely choose Nick over Elon that she's with now, but I don't know that Taylor would pick Alandria. I think he's really feeling, he's not with Coco, he's with Clark. I think he's really feeling Clark.
Yeah, I don't know. I was shocked and thankful that that girl didn't pick Nick. She picked Austin.
Yeah.
Austin's my bro. Like, he is a surfer dude.
I saw the best thing about Austin, and do you watch Severance? Or have
Yes.
You? Okay, basically the meme was like, I don't love Austin's outie, but I love his innie. Because like he had all those like problematic reposts, but his innie, we love his innie.
Oh man, I forgot he had problematic reposts.
Yeah, but it's okay. You love his innie. And
I love his
and
innie.
honestly, most of us do. We love his innie.
That's fantastic.
His outie needs work, but his innie
Well, I
is
guess
great.
we'll see tonight what happens.
It's
or is tonight the break?
Tonight's the break. We have to
Man.
wait till tomorrow. So by the time you guys are listening to this pod, we'll already know what happened.
We'll know everything, and this will be irrelevant, but fun nonetheless.
Fun nonetheless. Look, it's not the most love version of Love Island. It's definitely being played more as like a game, but I'm still enjoying it. It's still fun.
It was a curveball for sure. And I hope the producers pay it off. Like, I hope they bring it back in some way that makes us feel fulfilled, but I just don't see how it's going to happen. But you got to have faith.
Gotta have faith. We'll see. We'll see. Should we talk about the Valley?
Let's go to a place where there are also helicopters sometimes, the San Fernando Valley.
I have a question. When you watched the episode, did you get a strobe light warning in the beginning?
I sure did. And I didn't notice it till the second time I watched, but yes, I did.
What was the strobe light part?
I have no idea.
Okay.
And I watched it twice. I have no idea.
I'm like going through.
What part they were referring to.
Maybe like the transitions. I don't know. But anyways, strobe light warning. I was really expecting like a crazy nightclub scene, but that didn't happen.
Maybe it was just like the hands to the chest for the men would be too overwhelming for anyone's eyes, really.
The hands to the chest to the men. Okay, let's get into it.
Take us from the top, Kate.
We start the episode at Kristen and Luke's house. This is a sweet beginning. They're talking about their future. Luke is warming up to LA, and they talk about where they're going to move next. I have a theory of where they'll probably move next.
Santa Clarita.
You
think it's gonna be? Do you think that's where? I was like, where else could they possibly
go? If they are continuing to be like up Danny and Nia's asses, yeah, they'll want to move to Santa Clarita, especially so like they could be near like their friend that has a kid. I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. Wait, has she had the baby?
She just
did, right?
Yeah,
like recently,
like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Kaya Lily. I think her name
pretty
is.
name.
Very
Love
pretty.
That. Also, can I just say, for the Gabbers on this part of their life journey, I resonated with this scene so much because family planning with Kyle and I, it's like so ironic because it's like, you can't be stressed out. Don't be stressed out. Your body's not gonna like do well if you're stressed out, which stresses you out even the fuck more. And you're in this cycle of like, you feel helpless or your partner feels helpless because they're like, I can't be your body. Like I can't like reduce stress for you. So let me know what I can do. So that was a very real scene to me. And I liked that they included it.
That is a very good connection. I feel like you guys guys also can relate to them in the sense of like, if you do have a kid, do you stay in LA?
Yes. Oh my God, those decisions.
And that's what, I mean,
me.
look, every single person I've ever talked to that wants a family has to ask themselves, well, if I have a family, can I even stay in LA? Because it's so expensive out here. And look, it is kid friendly, but not as kid friendly as like a suburban Colorado neighborhood that Luke's thinking of.
I'm listening to helicopters right now searching for active gunmen on the loose. Like, and this is Santa Monica. This is supposed to be like the safe place.
Santa Clarita's looking real good right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I get the going north thing. It's not sounding too bad.
Yeah. And yeah, Luke just like loves Kristen, and I'm so happy for them.
I know.
The next scene is at some unnamed lunch spot. Don't know where they were. Danny and Nia get lunch with Zach and Benji. And Nia makes sure everyone knows she just got a spray tan. So watch out. No, I can't sweat. No, don't hug me. I just got a spray tan. I've never gotten a spray tan. Do you have to be this gentle?
Yeah, for me, like I felt her in that moment.
Yeah. So this scene kind of validated a question that we had on this podcast last week of like, it's kind of weird if Danny and Nia are like hosting, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago, but like they're planning this trip to Hawaii and yet they're inviting Janet and Jason. Like that doesn't really make sense. I think we talked about that. Maybe we didn't. If so, I thought it. I was like, that doesn't make sense.
It was up here.
And then this gets validated for us when they were like, when they asked Zach, can you please invite Janet and Jason on our behalf? So basically, this is just a big like build up to Hawaii of them figuring out who they're going to invite. Zach then FaceTimes Kristen and invites her to Hawaii over the phone. And I do think I have a theory, and I thought about this recently. I've been watching Real Housewives of Miami, and they did a scene where they FaceTime Larsa just to say hi, and Larsa's like, oh, by the way, we're going to go to the Hamptons next week. And they were like, great. And I thought to myself, there's no follow-up questions. Like, you just have an opening. You just don't have any plans. So I do, and I felt that way in this scene with Kristen where she was just like, Hawaii, amazing. It's like, obviously they do know there's going to be a cash trip. This is when it's going to be. Clear your schedule. So it's not that surprising for Zach to be inviting her to Hawaii.
No, yeah, you got to remember that this is all production. It has been planned out months in advance. So it's like, hey, you have to go on a trip. It's going to be these dates. And for every trip, they have to make up some reason for one of the girls to host it, to celebrate them or just get the girls together to get along for once or whatever it is. So when they're told where it is, they're just like, hurrah. She probably already knew she was going to Maui, to be honest.
Oh, she definitely knew, and she's had outfits picked out for months.
Yeah, she's so excited.
Then we have the scene at Jesse's house where Jax, Danny, Luke, and Jason go to Jesse's to meet with Jesse's life coach, and it's more of like a men's group, okay? My first thought was, this is weird. I never really liked this men's coach, to be honest with you, or this life coach, and it seems a bit cultish, but I do want to put all my snarky comments aside because I do firmly believe that men need to talk about their feelings and they should feel safe in like this type of environment. So I am a proponent of this. I just think the life coach is a little sketchy.
He's been a little sketchy from the start. I think his qualifications have made him, like, no one's said, like, is he trained in any capacity? We don't know. He's kind of seemed like the friend that just hang on. And biggest bombshell, I'll say it once, I'll ask it again. Kate, did you watch the after show?
No.
The biggest bombshell that was dropped on the after show, and who knows if we can believe it, is that Jesse said Michelle still uses that coach with her and Aaron.
Interesting. I feel like that's like kind of a conflict of interest.
Right? That was my first thing of like, I don't know if you can do that, but thought that was interesting, and who knows if it's true.
The guy must be better than we thought then, I guess.
Yeah, and I agree guys need to talk about their feelings, so
yeah.
If it takes putting a hand on a chest, put your hand on a chest and look, appropriately with consent.
Like I said, I think men should feel comfortable talking about their feelings in any capacity, but one man that I have had enough with is Jax fucking Taylor. I would feel bad for him if I knew current day that he changed. But he hasn't. He takes no accountability and he sucks. So he's just whining about how tough his life is. And, you know, he's like acting as if everything was taken away from him. And like, he can't wrap his head around that, like, he was the catalyst for his own repercussions. Like, he's having a very woe is me moment of like, you know, I'm going through this hard time. I can't see my son. It's like, but it's your fault. Like, I just feel like the way he talks about his current standing in life, it is still making it seem like it's Brittany's fault and she's being so mean to him. And I just can't take it. Now, he does get emotional and he does cry, and that does surprise me a little bit. But again, I'm sorry, I'm not sold on it.
She's not sold on it, people. Look, it's the same. Nothing new came from his lips that interested me, no offense. Because it's all stuff he's been saying on repeat. So my feelings stand the same.
Totally. I mean, Jax is amazing at talking the talk, but he literally cannot walk the walk. So everything he says, again, just goes in one ear and out the other for me.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
We do have a bit of a bromance between Danny and Jason, though, where they, you know, they put their hands on each other's chest, and Danny apologizes, and it does seem sincere, and even Jason says, like, this does feel like sincere to me, or genuine, but he does say that he can't let everything go, but he is willing to work on it. And then once again, that turns into a conversation about Danny's drinking. I wanted to point out that we had some gabbers comment on our last video, and I've been seeing some other comments online saying that it was agreed upon between Jesse, Jax, and Jason before going into this season that they were going to lead a smear campaign against Danny during this season. And I had heard that here and there, but now, like, I feel like these comments are being resurfaced a lot more. And with each episode that goes by, we're still talking about Danny's drinking, so I can see it a bit more. Now, to play devil's advocate, Danny did admit in this episode that he does order more drinks at the bar than he brings back at the table to make it seem like he's not drinking as much.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack here. What you just said, are the theories coming from the displayed behavior from those three just because they keep talking about Danny? Or is there any proof behind these allegations that, like, they're trying to take him down? Or is it just the feeling we're getting from watching it?
So I don't know. I can't 100% say that there's proof, but I do remember listening to podcasts from the summer, like, while they were filming, of Jax saying, like, there's one person that you guys are going to see very differently this season.
I remember that.
And a lot of people were like, they're obviously talking about Danny in all these podcast interviews. And they've been talking pretty negatively about Danny before the show even came out. So I don't know if it's actually Danny or if they're just trying to plant, like, that he's worse than he actually is. Like, I don't really know the truth.
And that begs the question of, like, well, why would they do that unless they're trying to get America to see the Danny that they see? I wouldn't put it past Jax to just randomly pick someone and, like, try to ruin their lives, but, like, all three of them?
The thought was that they didn't like how positively received Danny and Nia were last season.
I just don't see Jason being that kind of dude. I mean, he's father, you know? We've given him, or he's daddy, I forget where he is now.
I hate to say it, but my POV of Jason has changed a little bit.
Damn, we've pendulumed.
Only because of how much, like, he just can't let this go with Danny. When meanwhile, he's married to the woman that starts shit every fucking time she's in a conversation with someone and is constantly having to apologize to people. But Danny does one thing one season and no one can forgive him when Janet is expected to be forgiven every episode. Yeah, am I wrong? I just feel like, I do really see both sides, and I just feel like Jason is kind of hanging on to this a little bit too much.
I think Jason's hanging on to this a little bit too much, but I see a lot of Janet in those decisions. Like, I feel like he's trying to be a ride or die for his wife, like, no matter what happens. So in that regard, and maybe it's because I'm married, like, give him a little more leniency for that, because you kind of don't have a choice. If she's starting shit with everybody, you kind of have shit with everybody too. But that being said, I don't think that's right necessarily. I do think everyone should make up and move on along. Now, the point about Danny admitting to the drink scenario of going to the bar and saying you're getting one, but really getting three. The way he was confronted and not ready for that question was so profound. Like, just the expression on his face was more interesting than like anything I've seen this season. Because you could tell he was caught off guard.
Yeah.
And he didn't know what to really say about that. And you have Jax just nodding to your point, being like, yeah, you did that. Yep, he does that. Yeah, 3 drinks guy. Like, I mean, he was like, I'm damned if you have to make all these calculations in your head. You're like, I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. If I did that once, I don't, then like, I'm going to get called out for it. Like, but hasn't everyone done that? I bet this is all going through his brain. And the best answer is just to be honest with it, which is what he did, and said reluctantly with the face of someone like with their life flashing before their eyes. Yeah.
Right, but I think that the truth behind that though is like because Nia doesn't want him to drink anything. So I don't think he's trying to hide it from other people. I think he's trying to hide it from Nia.
Well, and then his response to the coach saying, well, that's implied dishonesty, is also his face trying to come up with what on earth to say to that was also very telling. So if anything, that was the most convincing of like, maybe he does have a problem, or it is deeper than like just him having a nap during dinner.
Yeah.
Those moments really spoke to me a lot.
No, there's definitely so many different sides to this story, and we're only seeing the side that is being shown to us on the Valley. And I don't know what to believe, and anything's possible when it comes to that. So it was an interesting scene.
So interesting.
The next scene, we are at El Coyote, which you and I have both been to before, which we were just talking about. We
just recently talked about it too.
Yeah, not to be confused with El Compadre, where they were at a couple episodes ago. El Coyote, just so you guys know, it is an LA staple. But most of all, their margaritas fuck you up. I don't think they have like great margaritas, but 2 margaritas and you're fucking on the floor. So it's like
2 margaritas gonna get me in bed. What's the TikTok?
Yeah, like give me 1 margarita, I'm gonna give you some whatever 2 margaritas is in that song, multiply by 10. They are so strong at that place. So I was not surprised that there was a random fight out of nowhere, because literally like, oh my gosh, she gets so fucked up. So they do like this little girls' dinner, and Michelle brings up that people keep talking about Aaron, her boyfriend, and who he has slept with in the past. And she basically calls out Kristen and says he slept with Jenna in 2020. Why did you have to tell Jesse about it? Basically, Michelle's point is that like she's upset because she doesn't want Jesse to have more ammo against her, which I get. But then Kristen is arguing back because Kristen says, it wasn't me. I didn't say that. And then we later learn it was Zach that was spreading that rumor.
Yeah, it was misdirected. Misdirected to a point. It still was her house, and she still did send the invite. So part of me is like, maybe she could have been a little more involved than she's saying here. Either way, I don't care. Go for it, Kristen.
Well, I think that Jenna runs in their group naturally, but I think that she is accusing Kristen of going out of her way to like tell Jesse, oh, by the way, Jenna slept with Aaron. But it wasn't Kristen, it was Zach. No. Regardless, it was a conversation that should have just been between Michelle and Kristen. But since Michelle said it in front of everyone, Janet decides this is an amazing opportunity for me to chime into drama that literally has nothing to do with me. Because like Nia says, Janet loves the drama. So Janet starts fighting and arguing to side with Michelle, basically because she doesn't like the fact that Kristen is siding with Nia. It's like a whole hodgepodge of people being pissed off at each other.
Right. The margaritas have gotten to everybody's head.
100%. We see in a talking head that Jasmine says she misses the old Janet who was fun to be around, but right now Janet is being too much. Now this kind of answers a question that we did talk about in a previous episode was Janet always like this, or has she changed for reality TV? We thought that maybe Janet was always like this, but now I'm starting to believe that maybe reality TV has changed her a little bit, because for Jasmine, one of her oldest friends, to be like, I miss the old Janet. I don't know what Janet I'm getting now. Also, Ariana Madix is very good friends with Janet. They have been friends for a really long time. They go on vacations together. Ariana just said in an interview that Janet is one of the people that she is closest to. And Ariana has a pretty good judge of character. So that does make me think that maybe off screen is a very different Janet than is on screen.
Those are good points. I feel like you laid those out very well. We were like in court.
I plead my case.
You pled your case. I hear it. Look, reality TV puts you in situations that you just wouldn't be in normal life. I wonder how it'd be if Ariana were on The Valley. I wonder how it would be if like other people were on The Valley, for what drama would unfold there and how it would. Because it's more like how she's moving in reaction to events that's really alarming, but these events wouldn't really be happening if it weren't for reality TV. Because a lot of it's like also meta fourth wall stuff of the fact that stuff is being brought up on camera. So it's an interesting hazy space.
No, you're absolutely right. And we have, like, now we just see Ariana as like this composed, poised, strong woman. But I mean, there were scenes just in season 10 of Vanderpump Rules when she's fighting with Lala and she's literally like, like reality TV fucks you up. So it's definitely see both sides. That was a really good point. Basically, the scene ends with Kristen and Nia storming out of the restaurant and like crying. And my note is just, what the fuck was this fight even over? Like, Janet, no one was talking to you, and now this completely blew out of proportion. And like, there was a moment where Janet was arguing towards Kristen and Nia, and I'm like, what are you arguing about though? Like, it's kind of reminding me of when we were watching and recapping Real Housewives of New York, and like Brynn was fighting with someone every episode, but I could never keep up with like what she was fighting with them about.
I was thinking that this episode, I literally was like, this reminds me of why Kate doesn't watch Real Housewives. I thought, because there's so much going on that I can't even really keep track of who all is angry at who for what. And I know there's a lot of million different reasons and people on different sides for things, but you can generally understand the sides. It's like Janet Michelle versus Kristen and Nia, and Brittany and Sheena are like, what? So I mean, like, I agree. It became a shit show. And Janet later said it was due to those damn margaritas. So let's just, I mean, I can't remember how strong they are. I'm sure they are as strong as you said.
They are so strong.
I trust you. You are a connoisseur of the margaritas.
Yeah,
so.
I like went there. I drove there one time and had a margarita and genuinely was like, do I need to Uber home? Like after one margarita, it was freaking love that place. The next scene is they do this field day at Pan Pacific Park, which is this huge park in West Hollywood. I will say, for living in the Valley, they sure do spend a lot of time in West Hollywood, like El Coyote, El Compadre, Field Day. I mean, they are always in West Hollywood. I'm sure there's plenty of giant parks in the Valley they could have went to.
Yeah, I bet part of it's production, and I bet part of it is also, like, I don't know. I feel like if I moved to the Valley, I'd also want to still have my toe in like Metro LA life too.
That's
like
true.
I definitely would be going over still, because I would have a lot of friends that were still over this way, so I would still be going that way a lot. But that doesn't necessarily hold here, so I don't know.
No,
I think also production. Also, you know, LA,
well,
we go everywhere. I mean,
some of them still live over the hill too. Like some of them still live in like West Hollywood and Silver Lake and whatever. So
but I mean, we're known to drive, you know, a minute to go to parties. I mean, like, I'll drive to Silver Lake for a brunch, you know, like we still go around places.
I'm literally going to my friend's house for dinner tonight in Hollywood, and it will take me a good 45 minutes just to get there. So.
Exactly. Like I have groundlings in West Hollywood. So like there's, you know, there's reasons to go. That's why you live here, is because there's so much you can do all over the place, but it's also why there's so much fucking traffic.
I know. Horrible. So I love shit like this. I thought this was like a cute little idea for them to like, you know, bring themselves closer together. So Sheena is the referee, and she brings Jenna to the field day. And, you know, they make it seem like, oh my God, this is so awkward. Jenna's here. It's like, bitch, Jenna, if you go back and watch, I'm sure season 1 in the Valley, Jenna is around. Like, I think that they're kind of blowing this out of proportion a little bit. Like, she's kind of always been around. So let's not make it seem like that big of a deal.
I think it's for show purposes. I think it's just to add a splice of drama and to give another pain point between whoever it's between now. Who would it be? I guess it'd be Kristen and Michelle. Ish, sorta.
Yeah, you know? It's exactly. They're like fiending for a storyline at this point.
Yeah.
Honestly, really not that much happens during this field day. Jax goes up to Kristen and is like, hey, thanks for being nice to me the other day. And then Brittany and Janet talk about why she doesn't like Nia. Like, it's just whatever conversations.
Yeah. I literally didn't take a single note, except that field days were so fun. I loved field days.
Bring back field day. Like that, I wish I was a part of that. That looked like a great time.
Yeah. I have some beer Olympics coming up, and that'll get my,
Oh, jealous. You know, are you on like a country team? Do you know your team yet?
No, I don't think we have countries, but that's a great question that I need to clarify.
You know what I did one time? We did a beer Olympics, but we dressed like states. And that was actually like more fun because it was like super specific. So like the people that were Florida dressed like Disney adults and like tourists, and like what was another one? Like someone was like Montana and they were all lumberjacks. I was Hawaii. Like that was an easy one. Like
oh man, that's so funny.
The states were really fun, and so yeah, just throwing that out there.
That's so funny. God, you have the best themes.
Yeah, it's
Love
just
it.
more Uber specific. We have a quick scene at Kyle Chan Designs where Luke is dropping off the gecko and picking up the ring. Then there's like a few quick scenes where everyone is talking about how nervous they are for Hawaii. They're like building it up like it's gonna be this big thing. Like this isn't gonna be good. This is gonna be bad. Granted, I mean, they're valid. Like they are going into a big group trip where like people don't really like each other, but it's like it kind of does all stem from Janet and Jason not liking Nia and Danny. And I guess there's also Jesse and Michelle and Aaron. I guess there is actually a lot of factors. Thank God Jax isn't going, or I don't think we'd be able to handle that.
And Jasmine and Danny, and the Jasmine versus Kristen, and the
But I feel like that stuff is all resolved.
I don't. I think everyone still has all this shit. Everyone says it's all resolved until the next fight happens and they bring shit up from a year. I mean, that's what they did at El Coyote. They were like, Kristen, of course she's mad at you. You said the thing a year ago about her boyfriend. That happened a year ago.
Yeah.
Like, when is it going to be off? Nothing's ever really
you're
resolved.
Right. And then Janet brought up the whole accusing Jason of not wearing a ring thing. I actually have that in my notes later on in the episode where it's like, they came to a resolution probably for an hour before they fight again. Like the resolutions are all bullshit.
We'll get to the Hawaii pool scene where there's a small truce for probably 2 seconds.
Yeah. And like, what really even is the storyline of this season aside from Jax going to rehab? Like, it's all these just like
Danny drinking. They're really spreading that out.
And then like Michelle and Jesse, but I feel like it's like micro little things that could be like one episode, and they're just really
totally.
And
they made it seem really big because it's a hella good trailer, right? Like the trailer was so intense because if you take the sound bites of he grabs asses, he doesn't wear wedding rings, he does all these things, and then you watch it and you're like, oh, in context, this all wasn't that bad.
Right.
But when you take the sound bites and put it all together, it seems really dramatic, but like, it's fine. The biggest thing was the real issue is Jax Taylor, and we're just don't want him on our screens.
Oh, 100%. Speaking of, before they all go to Hawaii, there is a quick scene where Jax is at a restaurant because he and Brittany were supposed to meet up for lunch, but she stands him up, okay? And I think Jax thought we were all going to feel bad for him. She stands him up because she tells him she received a bunch of DMs the night before saying that Jax was drunk out at a bar with a bunch of girls. Jax then says in a talking head, what I do on my own time is my business. We're not together anymore. Actually, no, it's not, because you are fresh out of rehab, this close to never being able to see your son again. You're actively going through a divorce that involves the custody of your child. It does matter that you're out drinking at a bar.
That's the most shocking thing about it, is that he still has not seen his son. And he's going to the bar. I mean, that is ridiculous. No matter how you spin it, no matter if he was saying, oh, I was home by 11, it doesn't matter. And there are certain things when you're on such thin ice for all the shit you've done for all of your life, guess what? Bar, right out of rehab, it's a no. It's a no-go. You can't go. I understand it's yours.
And that's where I think it gets a little confusing too, because like it is his barn. Like if that's where all his friends are hanging out, like he might just want to go and like kick it with people. But
he can't.
I also do believe it was more than him just sitting with friends at a bar. I think if Brittany was receiving these DMs of photos of him with girls and shit, like, and I'm sure she knows when Jax is drunk, and I'm sure she could tell.
And I'm sure she knows when she gets DMs from girls, like which ones to take seriously and which times not to take seriously. Because girls gotten a lot over the years. And you could tell she was like, yep, he's at it. He's drunk again, out with a bunch of ladies in public. It's embarrassing.
Exactly. So now we arrive in Miami, and I'm so excited for these Miami episodes because Jax is not there.
Hawaii.
I meant to say Hawaii.
It's all good.
I looked at Maui and read it as Hawaii, as Miami.
Well, you were just thinking about Miami.
And I am watching The Real Housewives of Miami for the first time. So.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, I am enjoying it so far. I'm like, I just, I need to brush up on my
Larsa.
skills.
Yeah.
So Jesse and Zach get upgraded to the presidential suite. Little do we know that they're actually staying in the same suite together. A lot of them are sharing rooms, which I found to be interesting.
Yeah, I love that they're sharing a room with Jesse. I think that's so funny.
Well, it makes sense, too. It's like Jesse's single, so he's sharing with Zach and Benji. And then Brittany's single, so she's staying with Jason and Janet, I believe. And, I mean, these rooms are bigger than my house. So
yeah, no, totally.
They need to be
There's
sharing.
room for everyone. And that's after show. Zach was like, Jesse had his own bathroom. Like, why? He just wanted to be in our shower because it was bigger. So
Oh,
that was
my
funny.
God.
Yeah. And Jesse was like, there was no other bathroom. So again, all these little things, though, are what make me be like, you just can never tell with this group what the truth is with like anything.
Especially,
anything.
when it all not only gets completely debunked on the after shows, it then gets debunked on Watch What Happens Live, then on the podcast. It's like, it almost makes it feel like, why am I investing my time when nothing is true?
Why are we obsessed with watching this when none of it's going to be true in about 5 minutes?
Exactly.
Because it's amazing is why.
Yeah, I know. I'm freaking hooked. And also, that was another thing that I found to be weird when Luke was like, I mean, Zach got an upgrade. He could have given it to us. It's like, there's 3 of them. Like, also, you're not mad at Jesse for not giving you the upgrade, but you're mad at Zach. They're in the same fucking room.
Well, and also his point was legit. I think they're going to give it to them once they're proposed to, I think.
Right.
Maybe.
Or yeah, it might be too.
He didn't want to give it away.
It's
like,
also, it would have made sense. Why would they have given it to Kristen and Luke when technically this is Nia and Danny's trip that they plan? Like, if anything, they should give it to Nia and Danny. And I just thought that was stupid.
Yeah.
Then we go down to the pool.
Woohoo! This made me want to go to a pool real bad.
It made me want to go to the pool real bad. Yeah. And I know, it just looked so fun and so nice. Danny, Nia, Jason, and Janet have a conversation in the pool. I've been waiting all episode to bring up this point. I want to know what you have to say about it.
Bring it.
Janet apologizes for her behavior at El Coyote and says she had too much to drink. And Nia's response is, that early in the night? Now, granted, as we just said, those margaritas are very strong. But why is alcohol a valid excuse for Janet, but not Danny?
Boom! That's a good one, girl.
I mean, I'm just asking.
That's a good one.
I'm just
That's a
asking.
good one.
I mean, that wasn't when Danny had too much to drink. That wasn't an excuse for Danny. He should never have that behavior, but now it's Janet's first excuse.
What were Janet's exact words? Well, maybe he's not a drunk asshole. Maybe he's just an asshole. Janet, maybe you're a drunk asshole and an asshole. Look, I will agree. Like, I do agree that Janet is at the center of a lot of this nonsense that wouldn't be a big deal otherwise. I still think we'd have fun at Dave and Buster's. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh my God, she said something else this episode that I was like, this is so Carolyn.
The magic camp?
Yes.
Oh my God. We would be friends.
I didn't even put that in my notes. I was just like, that is Carolyn.
I was like, we would be friends, and I'd be so frustrated with her. Like, she would drive me insane, and I'd have to apologize for her a lot. And she'd be one of the friends that just says, she is who she is. Yeah. You know, you just say, she is who she is.
Yeah. To play devil's advocate, by the way, to my last point, Janet yells at a lot of people when she's drunk, or she is kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
But at least she's not touching people inappropriately, okay? There is a difference between the way that those two have been acting, and I still do not condone what Danny did with Jasmine and Melissa, and I still am riding for my girl Jasmine. Just wanted to put that out there. But yeah, I was like, that's interesting that you're blaming the alcohol to the people that you basically said alcohol is not an excuse to.
You know, I didn't even put that together. I also went straight to Nia to be like, She didn't seem that drunk. I mean, but they said, again, I'm thinking after the show, they said that was her second margarita. So, like, she had 2 by that point.
And boots on the ground reporting from 2 girls in LA. You have 2 margaritas at El Coyote. You are on your ass. I am telling you, I don't know what they put in that shit, but it's crazy.
I mean, you could, in hindsight, I was like, okay, you can tell she was drunk with get your to-go box and like all that stuff. Like, I should have known she wasn't like dead ass sober.
Yeah,
but
she was just spewing nonsense.
Yeah, totally.
Then we are on the beach, and Jesse is talking a little bit more about the issues that he has with Aaron. He says that he expected Aaron to call him to see if he has any boundaries when it comes to the time that Aaron was spending with Isabella. Now, I am not a parent, so I cannot speak on what is right or what is wrong in this situation.
Yeah.
But I don't know that that was necessarily Aaron's job. I think it was maybe Michelle's job to talk to Jesse about it.
I agree. If I were put in that situation, I would take the lead of my partner of whatever they want and need to do to feel comfortable. What they do is what I do. So if she doesn't want me to reach out yet and she says it's okay, then like I'll probably be like that. But again, I also don't have children, so I also
right. And
don't
I mean,
know.
and we're only seeing what they're showing us, but there was that scene where Aaron did say to Jesse, like, you spoil her, you give her whatever she wants. And like, if I were Jesse, I would kind of be like, fuck
off.
you. Like,
Yeah.
you are not her father, and don't tell me how to parent my kid.
Yeah, totally.
So
totally.
I get it. I mean, Jesse's not the one. But again, there's so much more shit that we don't know. Meanwhile, during all this, Luke is being weird and not communicative with Kristen. That's basically all we know. It's just like kind of set up that like, what's wrong with Luke?
Oh yeah, his grandmother is
His
also
grandma's
not doing well.
sick, and I like that
He's
we're seeing a bit
nervous.
more of Luke this season. I enjoy him.
Yeah, he's growing on me.
And then going back to Jesse, he then starts to spiral about Michelle and Aaron.
I mean spiral, like hurricane spiral.
Wait, maybe that was the strobe thing, because there was all those scenes. I bet you that was it. Of like, there was all those flashes of like this scene with Aaron, this scene with Michelle, like the overlay. I mean, that's
Oh
so
my
stupid,
God.
but that's definitely
That probably
what it was.
what it was.
Yeah,
When it was like boom, boom, boom.
that is so stupid.
That's so funny. We might have gotten to the bottom
I
of
think
it.
we got to the
Gabbers are
bottom
going to
of
let
it.
us know, though. Gabbers, let us know. Did we get to the bottom of it?
Yeah, was
or
there a fucking strobe light that we missed out on, please?
What are we missing?
But I will say, I hate to agree with Jesse, but I do get it. Like, I still think there's a piece of Jesse that is blowing all this out of proportion just to make Michelle look like a villain and a bitch. But if Jesse really thinks that Michelle cheated on him with Aaron, and if it really did hurt him as much as he's letting on, it must be hard for him to have Aaron around. Like, I get that if that's true. But again, Jesse's no angel either, sweetheart. So I can't really feel too bad for him.
What do you think the answer is going to be?
I think it's going to be something like, I knew Michelle, but no, we were never romantic.
Me too. I think he's going to say we were not romantically involved.
Yeah, like I knew her, we were friends, but...
Yeah, because otherwise, I think in the trailer, they would have left us on a yes. Because I feel like we would be like, oh,
Yeah.
and watch it more. I don't know.
The storyline of Michelle
Right.
cheating on Jesse with her current boyfriend would be a huge storyline.
Yeah, if it happened.
And it definitely, we're barely talking about it. We barely see Aaron. I think if that was true, we would be seeing more scenes with Aaron being kind of an asshole.
No, totally. 100%.
So, and we haven't. So, but the episode ends with Jesse confronting Aaron, asking if he's ever crossed the line with Michelle, which we just talked about, and we both don't think that he ever did.
Voila, the end.
And it was a bit of a to be continued. I did see Kristen post it on social media. So cute that she said, like, next week is my engagement episode. And here I am just like staring at my daughter. Like, this is so beautiful. Like, the Kristen Doty redemption, like, happiness arc has really been a sight to see.
That gave me goosebumps.
Yeah,
I'm happy for
that's
her.
sweet. You never know what'll happen in a year.
That's so true for all of us.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind.
You never know.
You never know.
What I do know is I left the tag on this shirt because I'm going to return it. But I
Yeah,
was like,
nice.
let me just wear it for One Girls Unscripted so it could see the light of day.
That's so nice. Yeah,
I just
I'm
wanted
leaving,
to let you know.
leaving the tags on these wigs because I'm going to return them as well.
Wigs? Are you doing some TikTok content in there?
Maybe.
Okay,
Just maybe.
Are you doing any like well-known characters, or are you making up characters? Like, are they?
I think I want to try impersonating people.
I think
again.
you should. I think you should.
I've been like I practiced a little on the Valley today. We'll see how it goes.
Are you? Who are you?
The wig for Zach is so funny.
Zach.
It's so funny.
Oh my God, I can't wait to see. I can't. He does do that all the time. I can't even do it. Yeah, he so does. And that's just like every time he takes a photo, he's like,
yeah. Oh, it's so funny.
Love our boy Zach.
All right then. Well, I'm gonna go Google some stuff and see if my husband knows what's going on.
Yeah, I guess you have to make sure that the surrounding area is safe. So why don't you go do that?
Yeah, I'm gonna go do that. It was another pleasure doing business with you, Catherine.
Let's do a little handshake real fast. Good job. And Gabbers, that handshake was for you too.
That was one for you. Thank you so much
for watching and listening and liking and rating, subscribing. I've been looking at all of our comments. We're getting a lot of Spotify comments, which is fun to look at. I feel like people are really utilizing Spotify, so that's been really awesome. So keep it up, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.